Okay, so one of the biggest mistakes I see people making online who are new to building online businesses is they're using an @gmail.com email address for their business. And in 2024, it's so easy to set up your own, custom domain with your own custom email that there's really no excuse not to do this. And it just looks so much more professional when you do. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through all the basics of how to get this set up, okay? So we're going to purchase a custom domain through a platform called Namecheap, okay? And then from there, we are going to sign up for a free trial of what is now called Google Workspace. And then we're gonna set Google Workspace up so that you can use the Gmail interface with your email. And then as a bonus, I'm even going to show you how you can add up to 30, I believe, additional custom domain emails at no charge, basically. And there is now one limitation of this, but it's a small limitation we're gonna go over at the end of the video, and it really shouldn't hinder you from using this approach. So basically, for $6 to $8 a month, you can get all your email in one place using the Gmail interface that you're already familiar with, for up to 30 domains, basically. So, and I'm sorry, I almost forgot. I'm also gonna show you how to set up a catch-all email address inside Google Workspace admin. And what that will allow you to actually do is any email with a catch-all email address, any email that comes in that's not set up, let's say, support@yourdomain.com. If you hadn't set up that email, it would still get routed to this catch-all email address. So it can be very, very handy. Now, let's get started first with purchasing a domain. Okay, and now Domain Crafter is actually a small tool I created a few weekends ago. And Domain Crafter actually will help you come up with, a domain name for your business. And we're going to use it actually to find a good domain name to use here. So we are actually going to purchase a domain name live in this tutorial. And why don't we go with something like neverusegmail.com. Let's see if that is available. That is actually available. Let's go ahead and get some more suggestions here and see if anything appears that's actually better. This tool is live now. You can go and use it. It uses AI to suggest other. Okay, so I think we're going to go with neverusegmail.com, which is actually available. Let's click on this. It's going to take us to Namecheap. Luckily, I'm already logged in. And I could go ahead and purchase this now by clicking Add to Cart, and this would become my new shiny domain that I could build a project on, right? Now, what I'm going to do is actually purchase a very cheap one because this is a tutorial and I really have no use for this. It'll also really illustrate the fact to you that, you can use some of these other top-level domains if you wanted to. So let's find the cheapest one in here. .online is pretty cheap. Neverusegmail.pro, I think we'll probably go with that because it's still a three-letter top-level domain, and it's still very cheap. So let's add this actually to my cart. And I'm sorry, if you're new to this, some of these terms may not make any sense to you, so I should probably explain some of them. So this is the domain name right here, right? And this .com, .org, .bot, this is actually called the TLD, the top level domain. You may also referred to as the ending, the extension. There's multiple names for this. Now, the most valuable ones in the world, or the most commonly used ones, are obviously .com, right? We're all familiar with that TLD. And then .org, usually for kind of nonprofit organizations, at least in my experience. And then there's .net, which is kind of the second most popular behind .com. And then, of course, there's some of the more tech-focused ones, right? Like .net, .ai, .io. Those are all great options. What I suggest going with is a .com if at all possible. Now, if you can't get a .com, a .net is probably just as good. I wouldn't go with a .org unless you do have a nonprofit of some kind, or some type of other organization where it's common to use the word organization there. And then if you have a tech-focused product, .io, .so can be appropriate, and then of course .ai. But I've already added this one to my cart, so let's go ahead and click on View Cart so we can start checking out here. Now, the domain privacy is included, right? If you're wondering what that is just, it's masking the fact, it's keeping your actual name out of the publicly facing information that the domain registrar has for you. And we're just going to keep that on. I don't know a reason to ever turn that off. Luckily, it is free. They do not charge for it. I'm not really sure why they call it out as a line item. We're going to click Confirm Order. Okay, this should have all my information in here, so I don't believe I need to kind of blur anything out. Well, maybe that. And I'll blur out these addresses. Okay, but it looks good. Let's go ahead and click Pay Now. And if you're wondering, if you've never heard of Namecheap, they are a very well known at this point domain registrar is what that's called. And we really just advise just kind of going with them. They are really good to use. We've never had any issues with them whatsoever. I'm actually a member of their affiliate program, and that's actually how Domain Crafter, that's its business model, is referring people to Namecheap. Okay, so we have it in here now, right? Let's talk about next steps. So the next thing I want to do is actually sign up for Google Workspace. But first, I'm going to get ready for what I already know we need to do in Google Workspace by clicking Manage on this domain. It's going to take me to the management page for this domain, so let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is inside my Namecheap dashboard now, specifically for this domain I just bought, neverusegmail.pro. Now what we need to do is actually go to Google Workspace. I've already got it pulled up, and we are actually going to start a free trial for a new Google Workspace account. I already have one actually that I've been using for a while now for multiple products, but I want to show you that setup from the very beginning so that you can see everything that you would see if you were starting new. Okay, so here we are at workspace.google.com. Now I am just going to click on free trial. Actually, first thing I'm going to do, I want to clear all my data for this specific domain. Probably nothing's going to happen that would cause an issue, but just in case, because I was logged in on the other account. Now let's click on free trial. And it's going to take us through the sign up process here. Now for the business name, I'm just going to put neverusegmail.com. It'd be interesting to think that somebody may see this. Some poor product manager. The region, United States. Yes, that's obviously correct. Okay. Let's put real information, I guess, in here. Timothy Bramlett. Now, current email address. This is how it's going to, start the account. You can just use your personal Gmail account, I believe. I'm going to use one for an older product of mine, notifier.so. It allows people to monitor social media. And I obviously have access to that email. I know it doesn't have a Google Workspace account at all, so at least not directly. So it should work just fine for this registration. Does your business have a domain? Here we go. Okay, so obviously we're going to use the domain we just purchased, right? We're kind of going through a scenario here where we just bought this domain. Now we want to set up email for it. And I want to show you how easy that is, especially with Namecheap, actually. They work very easily with Google Workspace. In fact, you can actually buy access to Google Workspace through Namecheap. Does your business have a domain? We're going to say, yes, I have one I can use. We're going to get our domain name. I'm going to come over here and copy paste it just to make sure. Copy that, go back to Google Workspace, paste that in. Interesting. Sorry, we've got dibs on that one. I've never seen this. Oh, wait, that's probably what it is. Yeah, always check and see if you have an extra space in there. Let's see if it works this time. No, it doesn't actually. Maybe they don't support .pro. Let's see here. Okay, so I actually couldn't figure out why that error is happening. Either weirdly, someone had this domain before with a Google Workspace account, which is, I guess, possible, but unlikely, or Gmail is like a reserved name or something and you can't use it. So let's go with a different domain actually for this example, one that I know I haven't set up because this project was actually never built. But let's use that, and it is going to be url2text.com. So we will use this. Let's click next and let's hope this works. Okay, perfect. Use this domain to set up the account. Yes, that's what we want to do. We can also buy a new domain, but now they're actually using Google, so Squarespace domains, I think. So next, which is unfortunate because that was a very smooth process of purchasing through Google. Okay, so we'll create a username and let's just keep it simple. Okay, and I've set up Tim at url2text.com. I put my password in. I'm going to prove that I am not a robot. Let's click agree and continue. Okay, perfect. Now we're actually going to sign in using this new account. I will click next. Let's type in my password here. Okay, they want me to provide a phone number, and I will do that and go through this process to verify it. Let me just pause the video. Okay, that seems to have worked. Let me enter in the verification code. I don't believe you entered the G. We'll see. Okay, here we go. So it's welcoming us to our new Google Workspace account under this email we just set up. We're going to click I understand. Okay. Now, the one I'm going to select, because I believe I'm going to have to actually enter in a credit card for the trial. Let's see. I guess it's only the Business Plus that allows you to do the trial, unless I have another way. Is it possible? Okay, yeah, you can do the annual plan. Okay, and so we're just going to select the business plan. But to be clear, I believe there is a plan below this that is cheaper. Let me double check that really fast. Yes, so at the time of recording this video, there is the Business Starter, but I assume they don't allow you to trial that, only the Business Plus. So that is actually what we're going to go with for this trial is the Business Plus. Let me go back to it. And yeah. Is there not a way to, I just can't believe there's not a way to change it. Okay, let's do try free for 14 days. I am going to review and check out. Let me just enter in all this information. I'm sure you get the point of this. Okay, so I entered the credit card information in. I think we're good now. It's just now prompting me to add Gemini Business. We're not covering that in this video, so we're going to skip that for now. Okay, great. Now we're being dropped into a shiny, fresh admin console. Let's see if this works. Okay, they should take us through an onboarding step where we add the initial domain. Yes, here we go. They call it Protect. Okay, once we verify ownership, we can connect this Google Workspace account with your domain, url2text.com. Okay. No, we don't need to do that. So we're going to say next, activate Gmail. Okay, yeah, this is the steps. Perfect. Okay, finish. Okay, now we have to verify, right, to Google that we actually control this domain, because so far they've just taken us at our word. Okay, so what we need to do now is add a text record. Why does it say this? That's weird. Okay. Need to reset your Namecheap. Anyway, we're going to click I'm ready to protect my domain. Okay, and I'm actually going to show you how to do this, but you can follow these instructions here. We're already signed in to Namecheap. Let's be sure. Yeah, here we are. Okay, now let's go back to protect your domain. Let's go to step 2. Okay, now we're going to add what is called a DNS record, okay? If you're wondering what DNS is, it's basically how you associate a computer's IP address, right, which is a numeric identifier for a computer. It's how you associate that with a domain name, right? If we weren't doing this, you'd have to type in numbers in order to get to computers. Okay, so we're going to copy this and we're going to follow these instructions. Just follow this exactly. I am going to go back to here. I'm actually going to delete this parking record here. Let's delete that. We don't need it. We don't need this as well. We're going to delete that. Now we're going to add a new record in the Namecheap interface. So I'm going to click on New Record. And let me just verify that was a text record. I'm pretty sure, but it's easy to forget these. Yes, it is. Okay. Now the host, we're going to type in I believe, for Namecheap. We'll find out. Sometimes you leave it blank. I can't remember exactly which it is. Let me go back. Actually, I should have that value in the clipboard. There we go. So this should work. Let's see. We're going to hit Save Changes. And now what we've done is we've added a text record for the root domain, which means url-to-text.com, not a subdomain, which would be like www or app.url-to-text. And then we have this value, right, that we've entered in here. What this does really is allows Google to say, okay, I've given them this code, essentially. They put it into the DNS records, so I know now that they do control that domain. So the thing about DNS is that it takes sometimes a little bit of time in order to propagate. Okay, DNS is essentially one of the first distributed systems, if not the first, and the way it works, and I'm probably abstracting a lot here, but the way it works, there's all these computers talking to each other spread across the world, and when your domain registrar, Namecheap for me, when I update that record, it's then got to go out and tell all the other computers in the DNS network, hey, this record has been updated with this new information, and it can take a while to propagate, up to 2 hours or more sometimes even longer, apparently, although I've never had it happen longer than a couple of hours. Okay, we're going to click now on Protect Domain and see how lucky we get. When it's a new record that's never existed and what's called the time to live hasn't been set, in my experience, it can be almost instant that these things... It's checking the verification records. If this takes too long, I may pause the video. Okay, let me pause the video so you guys are not just sitting here waiting for me to do this, and let's see how long it takes. Okay, so that actually just took a few minutes. Now the domain is verified, right? Google now knows that I do control that domain. So we can click continue. And I'm probably gonna have to, turn these videos actually into 2 videos, I'm realizing now, because this is taking so long, but we will see. We're going to create new users. I believe we've already created a user, right? So let's see here. Okay, I think I'm going to try to skip this. Okay, yeah, we already have the user in here, the main user, so we can just say continue. We don't need to add any others. That is done. Activate. Okay, yeah, this is the part that is so simple with Namecheap, right? So we're going to click activate. Yes, we are ready. I'm ready to activate Gmail. Okay, so this is the fantastic thing about Namecheap. We are just literally going to go into the Namecheap interface and click this setting here to activate Gmail. So let's do that now. We're going to go down here, scroll down. You'll notice that it's set up right now for email forwarding. We're just going to click on this and we're going to scroll down and say Gmail. And then bam. So Namecheap has put in all the MX records are what they are called for Gmail to route email on behalf of this domain. So we are good now. Now, the thing is, if you're not using Namecheap, which is fine, right? You can use any registrar that you want to use, but if you're not using Namecheap, it may be slightly more difficult. What you're going to have to do is add, I believe it's 3 MX records for Google Workspace. And I believe these are usually separated into like a separate part of the interface. Like you could add it as just a normal DNS record, but for Namecheap, they have a different section for it. But check with your DNS provider. Once you have those added though, and you're good to go and you have those records added, then we can click on Activate Gmail. And let's see how this goes actually. Activate Gmail. Just checking my MX records. Last time I did this, it took a little while to work. In fact, let's see. I think it's really going to take a bit of time. Okay, so let me do this. Let me pause the video just like last time, and then we'll see how long this takes. Oh, and one thing I definitely want to mention, because I was waiting for about 30 minutes and I realized I've made this exact same mistake before. After you set this to Gmail, make sure you click on save. There's a little save box that pops up here. I'm sure we can simulate it again by doing this and then go back to Gmail and then save that. Well, I guess it knows it's already set to Gmail, but make sure you click that or otherwise it's not going to do anything. And so now let's see how long it takes to populate now that that's been done. Okay, and of course, once I did that, that was almost instant that it detected the new records and we are good to go. So let's click on finish here. And then we need to go into the Gmail interface and let's see if we can receive some emails. So I think I'm going to, we don't need to add any more users. So I think we can say, or skip for now. Okay. Let's go into Gmail. I can't even see it. Okay, here we go. Let's see if it just loads properly. It may actually load my personal Gmail. Okay, no, that's working properly. Get started. Okay, great. We should see this here. Nice. Okay, so now the Gmail should be working. I can test this by actually sending an email to it from my tim@notifier.so email address. So let me go ahead and send that email. Okay, so I went and just sent that email and wow, actually there it is. Hello, email world. Okay, great. So this email is set up and working and now we could just use it and get to work. Now in the next video, what I'm actually going to show is how we can set up additional emails for other domains, up to 30 that is, completely for free. And we're also going to talk about how to set up a catch-all email address for both this account as well as for those additional domains that we're adding.